Hi and welcome to this modern lesson tutorial as part of the How to Launch a BYOD program series. In this particular lesson I want to concentrate on the absolutely crucial issue of Wi-Fi. In terms of important decisions that you have to make, getting Wi-Fi right in your school, college, district, university, whatever it is without doubt the most important decision that you will have to make. With BYOD, it's absolutely fair to say that Wi-Fi is king. Okay, it is the thing that will decide whether or not your Wi-Fi, your BYOD policy works on a physical level. Okay, without good Wi-Fi, the best policy in the world isn't going to make a difference. So here's the bad news. In order to get good Wi-Fi,
difficult, but not impossible.
You're going to need to spend money. Okay. Good Wi-Fi coverage is expensive, but it's an investment worth making, because whether or not you stick with BYOD or end up rolling out a one-to-one iPad program, good Wi-Fi in the background is what will make any policy, any mobile learning is dependent upon your Wi-Fi. Okay, so we're talking infrastructure here, and we're talking sort of planning for the future. Now, I'm not going to spend lots of time trying to explain the intricacies of Wi-Fi, because potentially that's not your job, but let's just break it down to its most simple idea. When we talk about Wi-Fi and getting it right, we're talking about the difference between having coverage and having density on your campus. What I mean by that is try and explain with a very simple diagram. If we simply take this to be the site that you wish to get Wi-Fi on, in order to get coverage, you might only need 4 access points. Okay, because let's just keep this simple. Each access point will provide you with internet access to these areas. Now immediately you can see with this diagram that it's not an especially accurate diagram. You can see that there are already going to be areas where there is no coverage, or where coverage is patchy. Okay, these areas are not being served by an access point, by a sort of a router, if you like. And you can see that more or less though the whole site has Wi-Fi. This is what we call coverage. Okay, so the site is covered in Wi-Fi, and that's absolutely fine if you're never going to have more than a few students logging on in any one location. Okay, because if you've got a student here, student here, student here, so on and so on, they're nicely spread out across the area. No one's demanding too much of the access points, just a couple of people in each area, and this is absolutely fine. Coverage will work, and the problem is if you do have a test case scenario where, say, you allow 10% of your students to bring their own devices, and that is your way of gauging whether your policy is any good, you won't be testing your Wi-Fi. You won't know if it's actually any good. If you've just got coverage and you're in a test phase, your Wi-Fi is going to seem pretty good. You're not going to get a true reflection of what its limitations are. So this is a problem. let me explain what I am meaning by density. So if we take this again to be your whole campus, this time I'm going to make the drawing slightly more complex. If we just very unrealistically split the campus up into these are just corridors. Not with these corridors, there are a number of classrooms or lecture theatres or whatever it is you want. So in the earlier example, we would have just had access points, say here, and here, and this would have given us coverage. Here's our problem. Now we have lots of students who have brought their own devices in every single one of these classrooms. I'm not going to draw them all because that'll take forever, but you get the idea that there are students everywhere. They're all logging on, potentially all logging on at the same time. Your policy is really working and the adoption rate within your staff is high. You could have hundreds, if not thousands, of students logging on at any one time. And if you have only got coverage, then this is going to cause a system meltdown. So, when we talk about density, we are talking about having access points everywhere. Access points in every classroom. This is the ideal. This is like the dream situation. Is that every classroom, every room that is going to be used for having Wi-Fi access will have an access point in it. You might even have a spare or two in the corridors. What that means is, let's just choose a nice clear colour. What that means is you're going to get lots and lots of overlapping, okay, because these can all do more than the areas that they're defined. You know, these things aren't restricted to one room. Walls don't stop these things. Lots and lots of overlap. Even this is a conservative estimate of how much overlap there would be. All of these, you can see that there's a real dense Wi-Fi coverage here. Okay, no student should be denied access with this model. This is density. This is lots of access points. It's obviously more expensive. It obviously takes more time to get it all set up. But in the long run, it means that learning will happen without the restrictions that you would get if you opt for a less expensive option. If you are on a budget, spend it all on Wi-Fi. If you're not on a budget, get the most expensive Wi-Fi you can get, because long term this is the thing that you don't want to have to keep changing or upgrading. This is the thing that will stay with you, whether BYOD works, or you decide to change your mind and go with one-to-one Chromebooks, one-to-one iPads, whatever it is. Mobile learning is here to stay. Good Wi-Fi is absolutely critical to its success. So I hope that that was of some use. Just remember, whether you're technical or not, the conversation you need to have with your technicians, your IT department, or people that are going to supply your Wi-Fi is tell them you want density, not coverage. Work from that point. What is the best price they can give you for the most amount of access points? Okay, hope that was helpful. Thank you very much.